like it goes Kelsey, Kittle in whatever order you want, and then I think it's Mark Andrews in his own tier, and then Ertz and Waller.
What's up, Fackers? We are back with our Fantasy and Chill 101, counting down the top 101 fantasy football players for the 2020 season. Number 36 on the countdown is tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews. He is our third ranked tight end. Last year, he finished as tight end number 4. So, a few of his stats last year, he caught 64 passes, 852 yards, and 10 touchdowns on 98 targets. Scored 177.2 fantasy points, an average of 11.8 points per game. All right, so big thing with Mark Andrews, why he was so successful. We know they kind of are a little thin on wide receivers up in Baltimore. He had 25% of the target share. One out of every 4 Lamar Jackson throws last year went to Mark Andrews. He had 11 end zone targets last year. We see that he had 10 touchdowns, 11 end zone targets. That was first among tight ends, 8th in the league overall. Like I said, he's their undisputed top target. They didn't really upgrade their wide receivers. You figure Marquise Brown will be better this year in his second year, but I still think Mark Andrews is the top target there. And they got rid of Hayden Hurst, who took away some of
Yeah.
his targets last year. So I mean, this is prime guy to kind of enter that upper echelon of tight ends and establish himself with the likes of Kelce and Kittle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I still feel like Kelsey and Kittle are like the top notch guys. Those guys are going second or third round. Andrew's ADP is 31 right now. I don't see myself personally taking him unless he falls to me. I mean, I don't know when I'd be comfortable drafting him really. Maybe fifth round, but I think someone's going to reach on him. I mean, he has that high touchdown upside. I mean, 900 yards. I don't know. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think we all talked about regression when we were talking about Mark Ingram, how he's going to regress in touchdowns. I think we got to expect that Mark Andrews probably going to regress as well. Maybe the whole offense as a whole. They are a run first offense. They ran more than anyone last
That's
year.
true.
Yeah, we talked about on the Mark Ingram video how just across the board for the Ravens, their touchdowns are going to be down. Lamar led the league in passing touchdowns, only threw for 3,000 yards or whatever. So he was very efficient as far as passing touchdowns. It has to come down a little, but
Really?
I don't know if Mark Andrews receiving touchdowns necessarily have to come down because, like I explained, who else are the touchdowns going to go to?
That's true, but I mean, Lamar took such a huge jump from his rookie season to his second season throwing the ball. So, I mean, do you think he's going to regress in that also?
I don't think he's going to regress. They just don't throw the ball enough. They run the ball so much.
Yeah, I I saw some interesting things with Andrews, and a lot of people probably already know this, but last year his snap share was 43%. That's
They had
insane.
Hurst and what's the other
Yes.
guy's name?
So Nick Boyle's snap share was
Nick Boyle. Yeah.
66%.
So he's
Nick,
the blocking tight end,
yeah, yeah. That's
basically.
and then yeah, Hayden Hurst was around Mark Andrews like the 40 percentile or 40%. I mean, but the thing is, when Mark Andrews was on the field, he was almost always getting the target. He was number one in hog rate, which is basically however many it's targets per snap. So how many times you're on the field, how many targets you get while you're on the field. He was number one, the number one tight end. So like I said, if he was on the field, he was getting the ball, and
Yeah.
he had the highest A dot, which is average depth of target. So that means when he's getting the ball, it's also gonna be downfield for a lot of yards. So he's scoring
More
points.
I
we're
know, but
figuring him to be on the field more with Hurst gone.
Yeah, you'd think so.
yes,
Yeah,
I think we can all agree we like Mark Andrews, but where he's going at 31, like, you know what I'm saying? That's a little rich.
We're gonna have the same conversation we did with Zach Ertz on the last video, where me and Britt said we wouldn't take a tight end that early.
Yeah.
but we are. I think we're also saying that. I mean, Ryan, it is your ranking, so we do like Mark Andrews more than Zach Ertz, though.
Yes, I do like
Yes.
Mark Andrews
Yes.
more than Zach Ertz. Based just on opportunity and targets. I think he's gonna get, even though Zach Ertz had 135 targets last year, I just think the Eagles have so much more guys to kind of spread the ball to. I mean, the Ravens' weapons are Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, Miles Boykin. Like, the big names just aren't there to compete with.
Yeah. Mark Andrews is going 35 and half PPR.
Which I don't know. Like I was reading, the snap share scares me, but you figure that to go up with Hayden Hurst leaving and Hurst is going to leave. He didn't have that many targets last year, but he is going to leave some targets on the table, and most likely it's going to go to probably Mark Andrews because I mean,
That's
unless
true.
unless Marquise Brown takes a step.
And I mean, look, he put up top tier stats last year. I don't know what he finished third. I think was it behind Kelsey and Kittle?
He
Uh,
finished fourth behind Waller.
yeah, I think it might.
Okay.
Waller might have been third.
But I mean, Kelsey's going 18 and Kittle's right after him at 21. So I mean, that's into the second, early third. You could wait and get him. I mean, if I got him in the 5th round, that'd be a steal. But I don't think he's going to fall that
Here's the
far.
thing: even if you take him in the 4th, which is where his ADP is, you're not going to be disappointed. He's going to produce.
That's true.
He's
That's
going to
true.
produce like probably like a wide receiver 2, right in there.
Yeah,
The only thing you got to remember is if you do take a tight end, we say this over and over again. You can't take a quarterback then. You can't take a quarterback and a tight end early. You got to
I
kind of
agree.
pick one.
I agree.
And
Handcuff yourself so bad. Look at all the examples.
Yeah.
Tight end. Now, the guy that won our league last year took a tight end in the 2nd and a quarterback in the 4th, but he just got extremely lucky.
I was gonna say unless you go that no running back strategy where you're taking maybe you go 2 wide receivers, then you somehow Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson falls to the 3rd round, and then you get Mark Andrews in the 4th. Probably not gonna happen, but especially in a
That would
10 team.
require the quarterbacks to fall. Which now, if people start falling, then you can draft some guys because you're drafting based on how much value you would get. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
good tight end. Probably is gonna finish top 5, and yeah, he like it goes Kelce, Kittle in whatever order you want, and then I think it's Mark Andrews in his own tier, and then Ertz and Waller.
I'd put Andrews and Ertz pretty damn similar. Ertz has had the longer track record also.
Yeah, but you already know how low I am on Ertz. We've already talked about it.
So here we talked about it. He's the next great tight end. I think Mark Andrews. He'll be there for years to come as long as he stays with Lamar. He's got that connection. He's going to be a top 5 tight end from here on out, probably for the next 6 to 7 years, however long these little
Yeah.
runs last. So you're not going to be disappointed if you go with Mark Andrews. ADP in the 4th round. Like I said, I don't know if I would take a tight end that early, but you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, 5th round. Okay, we'll talk.
Mark
sir.
Andrews, our 36th ranked player overall, our 3rd ranked tight end. We out.
Out.
Peace out.